Hi everyone, welcome to another video tutorial. This time we're going a different approach as more or less a parallel activity to the From Zero to Sidekick series on how to work with JBoss BPM. This tutorial will support you in installing a ready-to-use environment made out of BPM-Suite and Fuse ServiceWorks, and they will both be running in Docker containers instead of full scope virtualization. So without further ado, let's just jump into setting up this environment. To be able to run and follow this tutorial, you will need some kind of operating system running Docker. In this case, we're using a RHEL 6.5 installation with Docker enabled, but it could be any other Linux distribution or Mac OS which runs Docker. If you need to know how to install Docker, please look at docker.io for the instructions on how to do so. Before running the Docker images or the creation of the Docker image, you will have to download 3 Red Hat JBoss products from the well-known websites, which is access.redhat.com if you're a registered customer and user of Red Hat technology, or jboss.org if you want to go on the community side and download the product as evaluation licenses. So what we'll need is JBoss EAP in the version 6.1.1 as a zip file, JBoss BPM-Suite in the version 6.01 GA as the on EAP6 deployable artifacts, and JBoss Fuse ServiceWorks in the version 6.00 as the installer jar. To get to the images and Docker files that we need to create the demo, please go onto my GitHub archive or repository and do clone the entire repository onto your local system as shown here in the screen. The images build upon each other. So what we'll start with is we'll go into the EAP image directory and copy the EAP product into this directory. So let's take a look at the Docker file. At the end of the Docker file, there is the command that you will need to run to create the image. So let's do this. With the command docker images, we can get a list of locally available Docker images and can double check if our creation worked. So now we'll change into the directory for the BPM image and copy this product in here as well. As you can see in this directory, I also provided application role properties and application users properties file, which will predefine a user that you can use when working with EAP and BPM in this case. The username is P. Steiner and the password going with this is change12_me. Now to create the BPM image, which builds on the EAP image, we can use again the command that I provided at the end of the local Docker file. So just copy it, paste it, run it, and enjoy the show. Like with our previous run, we'll check with Docker images if the new image was created and is provided for usage. Okay, now we'll go into the Hat BPM images directory, which builds on top of the BPM directory and deploys our web service client part. And again, at the end of the Docker images, you will find the command that you need to run to create the image. Same story as before. With Docker images, we check if the image creation worked successfully. Okay, now we go in the directory for Fuse ServiceWorks. We again copy the product install file into this directory. And if you look into the content of this directory, you'll find two XML files, one config.xml and config.xml.properties. These two files describe how the Fuse ServiceWorks installer will install the product when run in a, let's call it, silent mode. If you don't agree with the passwords that are inserted here, or if you want to change usernames, this would be the place to do so, but for sake of simplicity reason, I would recommend to not do it. So again, look at the Docker file. At the end you'll find the command to create the image, copy, paste, and run it. Now that this part is done, we check again with Docker images, go into the last directory, which is called Fuse ServiceWorks image, and follow the same rules as before. Okay, when this creation is done, we can again check with Docker images. We should now have all 5 images that we created, and we're done with creating and providing the Docker images for the BPM and Fuse ServiceWorks demo environment. In another video, I will show you how to start the images, as we have to link them. That is going to be a very interesting thing. And I will show you how to use the demo for your own usage, extension, or whatever you want to do with it. So stay tuned.